Hello and welcome to Detroit once again, where we've had a scintillating round 3 of the Red Bull Air Race World Series. Just about everyone was predicting Paul Bonhomme to take top position, except for this gentleman on my right. Former Red Bull Air Race pilot Frank Versteeg tipped Kirby Chambliss to take top position, and Kirby delivered for a delighted American crowd here on the riverbank of Detroit and, of course, over in Ontario in Canada. Frank, you did tip him to win today, but why and what was it that brought Chambliss such a positive and successful win?
Well, first of all, Kirby has also been working very hard on this airplane. Modifications on the cowling, not everything worked fine, but the combination from the modifications and his flying style we saw demonstrated here today led him to the podium, and it was well deserved, as you saw.
The thing for me, though, Frank, was that Paul Bonhomme shattered the track record in the semi-final. 1 minute 10, really very impressive indeed. And then he seemed to fall apart in the final. Tell us why that happened.
Well, falling apart is a big word, but as he said himself, he was flying a little bit more aggressive. And if you fly a little bit more aggressive, you use more stick and aileron inputs, and that results in more drag. So finally, you're a bit slower, because the weather didn't change, the wind didn't improve, so it was sheer flying style of Paul Bonhomme, which made him runner-up for this Detroit race.
It wasn't a great surprise to see Kirby on top of the podium. He was 5th in the season opener in Abu Dhabi, a very impressive 3rd position in San Diego, the last round of the tour, but he seems to be raising his game just at the right point in the season in his quest to take the title back that he won in 2006.
Yeah, absolutely. He's very eager to win, and we had a short discussion with him yesterday in the hangar, and he told me all the ins and the outs, and his plan is to be back.
The good news for the Austrian air race fans is that Hannes Arch was on the podium for the 2nd time this season. Again, flying very well, but possibly a little low in that finish gate, Frank.
Well, there has been a bit discussion about stewarding this race. We saw the disqualification of Nigel, and we didn't see any penalty points for Hannes as he went through the finish. And I must say, personally, I was a bit disappointed about that.
Another area that has been debated quite largely here in Detroit is Mike Mangold, the defending champion, finishing in 4th position today, but another controversial penalty through that quadro.
In the rules, it says you can deviate 20 degrees from knife edge. So if it's not exactly but 20 degrees off, then you get away with it. But they nailed him.
There is no question it was a very interesting competition indeed. But Frank, the big story here was so little track time, so little time to prepare for this competition. And I think it's fair to say all 12 of the pilots shone today.
Absolutely. And I consider them as my friends, but more important as my ex-colleagues. And the way they flew, the way they adapted to this track. My compliments. I mean, they flew like heroes.
It's congratulations to Kirby Chambliss, but let's take a full rundown of the results and World Series rankings after round 3 here in Detroit. So confirmation of the World Series standings after 3 events. Paul Bonhomme still tops the pile on 26 points. Then 3 pilots behind him, tying for 2nd on 21 points. That's Chambliss, Mangold and Arch. Right the way through the standings to Glendale in 12th position, still searching for his first championship point. And that's it from Detroit, Michigan State, and that's the last of the Red Bull Air Race World Series rounds in North America. The tour heads off to Stockholm, and Frank, are you and the rest of the pilots looking forward to heading to Europe?
I'm definitely looking forward. The Americans are looking forward because they are not going to have jet lag. We're going to fly at a fantastic location in Stockholm, a new track, so it will be very exciting. For now, goodbye. Looking forward to see you in Stockholm.
We'll see you in Sweden.